Today on Rappler, Vice President Jejomar Binay's lead drops in the latest presidential polls. A Rappler exclusive, toilet fixtures in a controversial Makati building are far more expensive than market prices. And democracy protests in Hong Kong disrupt travel and business.
Hello, I'm Maria Ressa. Welcome to Rappler, your social news network. Vice President Jejomar Binay continues to top the latest Pulse Asia survey on the May 2016 presidential elections, but his lead in the September survey drops by 10 percentage points. 31% of survey respondents say they will vote for Binay, down from 41% in June. This comes in the middle of corruption allegations against the vice president over an allegedly overpriced government building in Makati where he used to be mayor. Senator Alan Peter Cayetano, who's leading the Senate probe on the Binays, also had a decline in support in the survey. From 5% in June, he's down to 1% in September. Interior Secretary Mar Rojas, the administration's presumptive bet for 2016, is a far second, with 13% of voters saying they will vote for him. This is 6 points higher than his 7% in the June survey. The other winner is Senator Miriam Santiago, who gained 5 points from 7% in June to 11% in September. More on the polls. Neophyte Senator Grace Poe tops Pulse Asia's vice presidential survey. Poe leads the September survey with 31% of respondents saying they will vote for her. It's 5 percentage points higher than her 26% in the June survey. A far second from Poe is close ally Senator Francis Escudero Cheese with 19%. For the senatorial slate, comedian turned politician Senator Tito Soto tops the polls with 51.6% of voters saying they will vote for him. Not too far behind is former Senator Kiko Pangilinan at 51.5%. With a 3-point error margin, Soto and Pangilinan are statistically tied in the top spot. A Rappler exclusive. The toilet fixtures in the controversial Makati parking building that sparked corruption allegations against Vice President Binay cost more than current retail prices. Based on estimates by contractor Hillmarks Construction, toilet bowls can go up to 32,000 pesos, male urinals from 12,000 to 31,000 pesos, wash basins up to 25,000 pesos, and hand dryers as much as 62,000 pesos. Most of the fixtures are from American Standard, a mid-range manufacturer whose retail prices are at least 3 to 4 times less than Hillmark's cost estimates. In 2 years, the difference in prices of those same toilet accessories rose by around 300% per unit. Labor costs to install these items were also jacked up. Phases 3, 4, and 5 of the building construction were carried out in 2010, 2011, and 2012. But changes in the specifications for the building requirements resulted in higher contract prices for all 3 phases. Phase 3 of the building's construction has a contract price of almost 600 million pesos, Phase 4 almost 650 million pesos, and Phase 5 143.8 million pesos. The entire building cost 2.8 billion pesos. Apart from the jump in cost per unit, Hillmarks Construction also appears to have padded its labor costs for installing the toilet fixtures by 30%. Hillmarks supposedly won the bidding for Phase 1 and was the sole bidder for the 4 remaining phases. Vice President Binay oversaw Phases 1 and 2 when he was mayor of the city, while his son implemented Phases 3 to 5. Current Makati Mayor Junjun Binay calls it in his words, world-class building, but Senate resource persons who inspected the building said it was average and not world-class. The Health Department says the controversial Reproductive Health or RH law can finally be fully implemented by November 30th. Once the Food and Drugs Authority or FDA certifies the contraceptives to be distributed are safe and will not induce abortion, a full rollout can be expected. The RH bill was signed into law in 2012 after a 14-year struggle led by advocates and lawmakers. The controversial law faced opposition from religious groups, but the Supreme Court declared it constitutional in April 2014. The RH law requires government health centers to provide free contraceptives and mandates schools to teach sex education. It also legalizes post-abortion medical care, but not abortion itself. About 1,000 soldiers of the Philippine Army flew to Sulu Sunday, where militants from the Abu Sayyaf group are believed to be holding 2 German tourists hostage. The group earlier threatened to execute one of the hostages. Reports say the tourists are an elderly man and a woman. Defense Secretary Voltaire Guzman says the Philippines would not negotiate with the Abu Sayyaf over its $5.62 million ransom demand. The Abu Sayyaf also demanded Berlin stop its support for the U.S.-led campaign against the Islamic State of Iraq and Syria, or ISIS. The Abu Sayyaf is a group of Islamic militants originally organized with al-Qaeda funding in the 1990s. The group has been blamed for the Philippines' worst terrorist attacks. About 36 hikers are feared dead after they were found near the peak of Japanese volcano Ontake Sunday. Mount Ontake erupted without warning Saturday, spewing ash, rocks, and steam. Around 230 hikers were able to make it to safety soon after the eruption, but rescue workers found the rest in their words, cardiac arrest near the summit. Rescue operations are suspended Monday because of the growing danger from toxic gas. Mount Ontake's last significant eruption was in 1979. Apart from Ontake, volcanoes Mayon in the Philippines and Sinabung in Indonesia are threatening to erupt. Japan, Philippines, and Indonesia are all within the Ring of Fire, a region in the Pacific vulnerable to seismic and volcanic activity. Riot police in Hong Kong pulled back Monday after thousands of pro-democracy protesters caused travel chaos and widespread disruption in the city. In a statement, authorities urged protesters to give up occupied roads as soon as possible in a bid to restore public transport services. Crowds of defiant demonstrators took control of at least 3 major thoroughfares, paralyzing parts of the city after hours of overnight battles with police firing tear gas. This comes after a week of student-led boycotts against China's decision to allow only candidates chosen by Beijing to stand in the city's elections for chief executive in 2017. Let's now look at Rappler's Wrap for today, a list of the 10 most important events around the world you shouldn't miss. At number 7, would the proposed merger of AOL Inc. and Yahoo spark a revival of the internet pioneers? This comes as investors call for Yahoo to merge with AOL. While analysts say a merger could cut up to $1 billion in cost, it may be harder to build up strong growth in their core advertising businesses. A Reuters report says some experts believe there's little to gain by combining the 2 companies. The 2 companies have a decreasing share in the digital ad market. At number 8, new social network Elo goes viral. Described as the anti-Facebook for its stand on privacy and advertising, Elo's policy says collecting personal data and mapping social connections for profit is, quote, creepy and unethical. Elo is currently accessible on an invitation-only basis, prompting a surge in demand for invites, with some up for grabs on eBay for $500. And at number 9, former U.S. Secretary of State Hillary Clinton now has a new title, grandmother. Hillary and her husband, former U.S. President Bill Clinton, took to social media to express their joy at the birth of first grandchild Charlotte, sharing photos and calling Charlotte's birth one of the happiest moments of our lives. In June, the former U.S. First Lady said she will balance grandmotherhood with preparations for what could be her second presidential campaign in 2016. For the full top 10, visit Rappler.com's The Wrap. George Clooney and Amal Alamuddin tied the knot Saturday in Venice. The newlyweds delighted crowds as they showed off their wedding rings the following day along the Grand Canal. They got married at a private ceremony in Venice's palatial Aman Canal Grand Hotel before celebrating with a star-studded guest list. They're expected to spend their honeymoon in Morocco's former imperial city of Marrakesh. A celebrated Hollywood actor, Clooney's breakout role in the TV series ER propelled him to superstardom. Alamuddin is a human rights lawyer who represented WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange and served as advisor for former UN Secretary General Kofi Annan. Every story on Rappler has a mood meter, which gives you 8 emotions to choose from. Click how you feel and your vote comes down to the mood navigator in the middle of the front page. That crowdsources the mood of the day. It also gives you the top 10 stories that have affected our readers and viewers the most emotionally. If you take a look, these 10 stories have gotten the most number of votes on their mood meter. Here we go. Let's take a look here. We have, interestingly enough, hold on one second. Vice President Binay's lead in the presidential poll drops. 12% angry, 81% happy. The red is mirrored in these stories, five other stories. Abu Sayyaf German hostages air appeal to authorities. 92% angry, 6% afraid. That red brought out in the story that's gotten the most number of votes in the last 24 hours. More allegations surface against Binay. A whopping 93% angry. That red bringing out the mood of the day. Today, most people are angry. Well, that is Rappler's newscast for today, Monday, September 29, 2014. Visit Rappler.com and watch our newscast Monday to Friday. Tell us how you feel on our mood meter and help us crowdsource the mood of the day. I'm Maria Ressa. As we say at Rappler, tomorrow begins today.